YouTube, how's it going? The Goat House is back. Today, I got my NFL draft running back rankings. Really excited about these. Did quarterbacks yesterday. We're going to keep going on. Receivers, tight ends, offense line, then on the defense. We got you covered for every position group here. And we got my top 50 big board to get to. We got lots of NFL draft content with mock drafts only 2 weeks away from today. So I'm really excited about that. And then all these graphics kind of in guide format will be available to our Patreon members there. So check that out, link down below. Please subscribe to the channel for all that content. Follow our Twitter for live talk, my thoughts on every pick for the NFL draft, and fan voted mock draft as well. So link pinned in the comments for anything here that you need. We got a fan voted mock draft going on right now at Goat House NFL. Again, here's that page. Patreon members get this page where you get all. We did the quarterback video already. If you didn't see that, check it out. But all right here, and then the running backs are on here as well, and then the receivers are actually already on there, so you get early access as well. You can actually save these graphics. It's just good to have them handy. So you go over to our Patreon link down below. Sign up for this tier or the general manager tier, and that'll get you that access. But on to my running back rankings. First, the superlatives. Best speed, I got Travis Etienne. Maybe there's somebody that has a faster 40. That's really not what I'm going on. I'm kind of going off the speed on the field, how they use it. I think it's Etienne. I think mainly the acceleration when it comes with Etienne there. Best power, Javonte Williams. People bounce off him. He runs people over. Breaking tackles like crazy, really. The best vision, Najee Harris. Just sees the hole before it's even there. So I thought he had a fantastic year improving his vision, which is rare. Best receiving ability, I got Kenneth Gainwell from Memphis. Battle with Demetric Felton, because Demetric Felton I have as a running back, but also could actually be a receiver. But Gainwell was so fantastic. I've never seen a running back catch that many back shoulders, got the softest hands, able to make any catch. Very good after the catch as well. Best cuts, Michael Carter is pretty dominant at that next level, making the lateral cuts. Instant impact, I think Javonte Williams is kind of the easiest guy to be the impact. You put him in there, you give him the ball, he's going to get you yards. If you need that extra yard, he's going to get it. So it's the easiest guy to have an instant impact. Boomer bust, more I think about it, more I think it's Travis Etienne. We'll talk about a little bit more about him in a little bit, but has that high ceiling because a combination of the speed, really acceleration and pretty good power as well. Could break tackles, catches the ball well. Could be like a Kamara type guy, but then could end up being that bust because he kind of has to be that Kamara type guy. Kamara, doesn't get all those carries, kind of like Etienne doesn't get a load of carries in a game. And for you to be an impact, you got to be, a Kamara type impact. So most upside, Collin Hill, he's kind of got forgotten about. I thought he's a hell of a running back when he played. It was a short season for him because he opted out early. I think he has upside as a pass catcher as well, so that kind of what puts him here. Sleeper, Chris Evans from Michigan. I like Chris Evans a lot. Not really anybody talking about him. The deep sleeper, go Elijah Mitchell. Another one of those guys that's pretty powerful runner. People bounce off him, but has pretty damn good speed. He ended up running in the 4.3s at his pro day. Doesn't really show on tape, but he's still very fast. Not too far off, I'd say. So he's kind of that deep sleeper, Louisiana running back there. So out of my rankings, if you've been watching the channel, you know who's going to be number one. Otherwise, I'm probably going to surprise a lot of people. But I got Javonte Williams from North Carolina as my number one running back. And I know the top three are close, but I don't really have to think about it too much. Javonte Williams is my guy. I'm having a hard time fighting negatives really for him. Just such a powerful runner, just ridiculous. The most powerful back in the class. The contact balance is ridiculous. Maybe the best I've ever seen, really. People just bounce off him. He doesn't even budge. He just stays balanced like nothing happened. It's ridiculous. I think he's got good vision. You got to make sure running backs have vision if they want to be your number one back. I think he has it. He's got more speed than given credit for. Ran the 4.5s. He's not the quickest dude, but I think once he gets going, he's going. So I think he has enough speed. And then he was solid as a pass catcher, a little inconsistent, I guess. Sometimes he tries to body catch it and kind of ball will obviously pop out. But really good after the catch, home run guy after the catch. I think it's, it's a matter of getting him more touches through the air, and then he'll compete with the other the other two backs that are in the top three here. It's just get him those touches. I think he's a creator. If there isn't a hole, he can make the hole. There's too many running backs that have the vision until there's no hole and they bounce around, don't know what to do. I think Javonte Williams can kind of create that hole that's why it's another big reason I like him. Again, really no negatives. Why somebody may pass on him. Michael Carter actually was the starter for the most part. He did split. I don't really see too much of a negative in that. It's just teams may be like, do we have to have him split? I just don't see it. Inconsistent. We talked about it. Has some body catches. Nothing I'm worried about. I think you need to give him the ball more through the air. I'm a big fan of Javonte Williams. I might be the highest on him on the planet, but I've been pretty damn accurate at running backs in the past. I think it's the easiest position to kind of scout. And I'm a big fan of Javonte Williams, obviously. Number 2, going to be Najee Harris. Obviously a bigger running back, 6'1", 232. Got a round 1 grade on him. Maybe I'll have more than 32 players, 32 picks in the first round, more than 32 players that I have a round 1 grade because it doesn't really go, you don't have to have 32. Maybe some people do it like that. I haven't noticed anybody, but so maybe there's a better player, round 1 player on the board, so he ends up going in the second round. That one makes sense. But yeah, you can't really forget what you see. I remember live games, just loving Najee Harris, and I think the more you watch tape, honestly, you start to, it's not like you dislike him, but you start to like him a little less. But, I think that's kind of I've had success with just basing things off live games too. If you watch, look in too much into a guy, you start to see some more negatives. So I kind of went back to, I was kind of bounced around round 1, round 2. I kind of went back to, the reasons why he stood out in live games and so consistently. Actually, I'm not going to compare him. I don't think any running back ever you can compare to this running back, but the way he kind of moves in some aspects to his game, you do see a little bit of Adrian Peterson, even though Adrian Peterson's, no one's really going to compare to him, a lot faster as well. But there's some things I actually see a little bit of that. And I'm not a big high school guy, but I remember watching Najee Harris back in the day, watching some of him in high school, and I knew, this guy was a future first round pick. So I'm kind of sticking with that there. Can run, can catch, can block. I mean, he's really got all of it. We know he's got all of it. So that's fantastic. Excellent vision, which vision's kind of the number 1 traits for running back. Can you see the hole? Can you hit the hole? If you can't, I'm not going to be super high on you for the most part. He's got that. He actually improved it, which is impressive because I don't know if I've seen a running back improve his vision. It's really one of those things that you either have it or don't. That kind of could be a negative in a way a little bit. We have it listed there at the bottom. I am in the way of some of this, but we'll talk about that. Solid route runner. They put him out in the slot, put him at receiver. He ran pretty good routes, caught the ball, natural hands, caught the ball well downfield. I thought that was fantastic. Improved his game in that aspect as well. He is lacking a little bit of speed. I think he has quickness, but it is lacking a little bit of speed. Not going to outrun anybody outside the defensive line. He's not going to. There's even the freaky linebackers these days. He's not really going to outrun those guys. Sometimes a little bit too patient of a runner. I don't love the guy. Le'Veon Bell type doesn't really work anymore. But it's only sometimes. That's why I'm not too worried. There's times to be patient, and that could be a good thing when the time, picking the right times. Inconsistent vision before 2020, which is odd. Like I said, it's great that he actually improved the vision. That's rare to do, so you see the type of guy he is. But the vision wasn't necessarily good before 2020, which that's a little scary. If he doesn't have the wide open holes, maybe that great of an offensive line, does the vision go back to that? So you start to worry a little bit in that aspect. Travis Etienne, I feel comfortable with him in round 2. He does have home run ability. I mean, the acceleration is ridiculous. Like, just when he catches the ball, go. Like, he gets the top speed in no time. Pretty elusive back, for a guy, that has that home run speed. He's pretty damn elusive, I thought. He has a home run ability. You talked about that. Solid hands, catch the ball. Excellent after the catch. Kind of the acceleration shows up then. I think he's a slip screen king, which is kind of schemed up. Any guy can have success in some of those Clemson slip screens, but not any guy's going to make it. Every time he got the slip screen, it felt like he could score. Not too often do you say that for those guys. So that's fantastic. Can he handle a load? He didn't really get that load, amount of reps, carries in a game, especially on inside runs. He's not going to get a whole bunch of inside runs. Vision's a little inconsistent. We're running the back of his offensive line. It could be partly the offensive line problem. So he's not the best inside runner. I think he has the ability to grow there. Maybe that's why he's not getting the load, but that it is a little bit of a concern because I talked about earlier in the video, I think, a guy like Alvin Kamara is so rare where he doesn't get a full load. He doesn't get that RB1 amount of carries in a game but it's the rare occasion where it's okay because he's such a dynamic playmaker. He's so good in the receiving game, and I think he can handle a guy like Kamara can handle the load if he was asked to. We've seen it at times. Broke a touchdown record this year, but so I think you're kind of banking on him. If you're not going to give him that 20, 30 carries a game, he has to be as good as Alvin Kamara, making the impact in different ways and being that electrifying. You're asking a lot. So there's some risk there, if he's not going to be able to handle the Najee Harris and Javonte Williams load. So that's the main reason why he's 3, and it's pretty close between those guys, though, obviously. They're all great players. 4, another North Carolina back, Michael Carter. You're on round 3. I really wouldn't be against somebody taking him late, too, because I think you're getting a hell of a ball player here. He's got great vision, finding the hole. That's the first thing you look for. But his vision at the next level, past the line of scrimmage, is ridiculous. He knows exactly where to go before he has to do it. He knows what to do. He always knows the best path. I mean, that really stands out. Lateral cuts are definitely the best in the class. That kind of goes in with the downfield, vision, making that cut, bouncing the right spot, and then trying to hit that home run. Just really stands out. Solid pass catcher. I thought he's a good route runner, hitting those wheel routes at a fantastically high level there. Wide pass, he is undersized, 5'8". He's actually 5'7". He's just under 5'8". I gave him the benefit of the doubt there with the 5'8". So he's a little undersized. He doesn't really play like he's that undersized, though, but he is a little undersized. He's not going to be able to take on a load on the inside runs or anything like that. He's going to be a very high-end running back, too. So that's why you have the running back 1s ahead of him. But a guy, he started for North Carolina. He got a good amount of reps with Javonte Williams there. Inconsistent as a blocker. He'll step up and kind of recognize blitzers, fill those kind of those spots on blitzers, but then sometimes he'll kind of get put on his ass if he's kind of sitting still a little bit. It's a little inconsistent. We talked about unlikely, but he hits the hole quick, sees it. It's just so good with the cuts and the vision after that. Those are kind of wow things about him. My number 5 running back, I don't know if too many people have this. I got Rhamondre Stevenson, Oklahoma's back at number 5. This is a guy where you watch, you only can catch so many live games as well, but you watch him live and you just think, you just look at his size. You want to say, hey, he's probably a third down, short yards, goal line back. But the more and more you watch this guy on tape, the more you like this guy and realize that's not what he is at all. Really, he can be that too. But I like him at the end of the 3rd round. So I even have him close to the same boat as some of the other guys. He lost some weight. That's good. It can help him get quicker, faster, learn how to play under that weight. It's fantastic. Still got that power weight though. That's fantastic as well. I think he explodes through the hole when he needs to. There's so many times where he's lightning quick through that hole and just explodes. Arm tackles going to look like nobody even touched him at times. But he knows when to be patient. A good mixture. I'm not a big fan of the full patient guys that are sitting out back there waiting. It doesn't really work anymore. But there is times where you be patient depending on the blocking scheme. And he knows exactly when to do that. Maybe he fit that offense very well. But he's a powerful runner, of course. The lateral quickness of a small back. He kind of this is my favorite thing about him is he almost acts like he's a small back, and it kind of works out for him. Because he's quick, he's got lateral movement. But then the power, that he has kind of comes natural. If somebody eventually is going to try to tackle him, he kind of bounces off sometimes. So I think the other way around, if like a smaller back thought he was a power back, that wouldn't really work out too well. But this way, I think it works out well. You don't really see it too often. Sneaky good catching the ball. There's a reason why Oklahoma kept him around over a guy like Trey Sermon. That reason alone doesn't mean he's better, but he can catch the ball very well. Really good on slip screens. Really good after the catch. Got soft hands, natural hands. So there's a lot to like about him. Why pass on him? He's like we talked about. He's quicker than you would think he would be, but he is lacking in the speed department. He did lose some weight, so maybe he can kind of gain that speed. But he kind of gets going enough where he's hard to bring down, and he was suspended in quite a few games in 2019. So I guess that's something for teams to monitor there. But not a lot of negatives. You look at the guy and you might think there's a lot of negatives just because maybe he's too big, but he doesn't really play like that, and that's fantastic. So I'm a big fan of Rhamondre Stevenson. On to the next group of guys here. I'm also a big fan of Collin Hill. He's kind of been completely wiped off the running back conversation for some reason. People are talking about him, in the 5th, 6th, 7th round, which is kind of ridiculous to me. I'm not really sure why. Again, number one trait is vision for me, and he is a little inconsistent with the vision, and usually I kind of really move those guys down. So that's why maybe other people did, because sometimes he looks great, and sometimes he'll kind of take on the contact instead of hitting that home run hole, or not really hole, but maybe after the hole, the lane, I guess we should say. So I don't like that, but I mean, the strong runner, athletic runner, has speed. I mean, he can jump over you, run through you, run around, cut around you. He's got all those traits as a running back one. He's got all the combination of that. He started to play this year, then wasn't happy, opted out, so maybe people don't like that. I think he's got upside as a pass catcher. I like Collin Hill. I think he can be a future starting running back, so I might be maybe the highest on the planet on him as well. I don't know. Kenneth Gainwell, you got to like a lot as well. I mean, you see how good the running back class is. There's a lot of guys that you grade in the middle rounds here that are deep into the rankings. Not that this is deep, but Kenneth Gainwell, we talked about in the beginning of the video, very natural pass catcher, could play receiver if you need him to. Back shoulder catches like crazy, rare to see for a running back. You love to see that. Hits the hole so fast. Love his vision. Home run ability. There was a lot of times where it was kind of a wide open hole, and there was just for some reason no safety back there, so it's kind of a free touchdown as long as he had the speed. Could be like former Memphis running back Darrell Henderson, which solid NFL running back, but hasn't really figured it out altogether. I did like Antonio Gibson the most out of all those Memphis running backs, but it seems like hybrid running back right now, which you gotta like. But yeah, I think it's a safe pick because you're going to get some kind of production out of him, whether it's running back, receiver, catch the ball out of the backfield. Chris Evans, I'm pretty damn high on Chris Evans as well. My running back rankings, I think, are different than everyone else's. I think they've always been, though, but I've been pretty accurate on him. Chris Evans out of Michigan, I like a lot. He's got good vision. He explodes through the hole. He's very good at breaking tackles. He's not the fastest guy. You wish he was a little faster, but he's got good lateral cuts as well. The juke's going to make people miss. Very underrated catching the ball, too, out of the backfield, downfield. That's where he can make his money here. So that's a guy to look out for. I like Chris Evans a lot. Trey Sermon from Ohio State, former Oklahoma back. If you just watch the Northwestern game, you want to call him a first-round pick. That was a fantastic game for him. You get excited about that. He's a fantastic back. Another guy that'll break tackles. Guys will bounce off him a little quicker, and maybe once he gets going, he's going more than people give him credit for. Had some experience catching the ball a little more at Oklahoma. It's weird because he'll break some crazy tackles. He'll stiff arm, throw guys right off him. But then if you get him in the feet, he's probably going down. I think it's weird. You go from one extreme to another there, but was impressive in the big time games. It was unfortunate he got hurt down there last game, but was impressive in those big time games down the stretch, which definitely helps his case. I got Demetric Felton from UCLA as a running back, but also could play receiver, could play slot receiver. I like his running ability, pretty good vision, really good spin move, knows when to cut, very good with his cuts. So honestly, it's a guy that probably could be, if we're talking running backs or even receivers, it might be a guy that might be higher on a big board in general with all the players because you're going to get an instant impact guy. You're going to get impact from multiple positions. So, if we take him just out of the specific running back, he might be a little higher than, but that's where the grade comes in. I like him in the fourth round. Jermar Jefferson from Oregon State, I think he's a really good zone runner, really good first cut out of the backfield and go. And usually those guys really can't break too many tackles. They're the best ones in the NFL. Guys like Dalvin Cook, those types of runners, but can do that extra stuff. But Jermar Jefferson, like I said, usually those guys can't really break tackles, don't have the power. He does, though. He has the power to run people over, break tackles. He just might not have that big-time speed. He's got the quickness, but the speed maybe is where he's lacking. Khalil Herbert, another outside zone runner. A lot of wide-open holes. It's really tough to judge Khalil Herbert. They had a really good offensive line. Really good scheme there at Virginia Tech, really quick. So a lot of wide open holes, kind of in the same boat as Jefferson, kind of got that one cut and go. Home run ability, but you wish he had more home run speed. He did time pretty well in the 4.4s. I don't know. He kind of looked like a 4.5 guy for the most part on tape. But those zone schemes will like him. He's got that one cut and go, which you do your job and you get it done. That's what he does. Elijah Mitchell ran very fast 40 in the 4.3. He doesn't look quite that fast on tape, but you like to see that. And he has moments where he's breaking tackles, throwing guys off him like crazy. He has that moments where he looks like a speed back, and then he looks like a Matt Forte type back. For some reason, that's who I think of. So he got a good mixture there. So maybe a high-end sleeper down here. Deion Jackson, really no one's talking about him at all from Duke. Fumbling concerns. That's probably why he does have some fumbling concerns. We've seen guys surprisingly take care of their fumble issues going from the college to the NFL, maybe coaching, something to do there. It's kind of rare at the same time, though, that they kind of completely fixed it. But he's got the vision, he's got the cutting ability, he got 4.4 speed, he's got the strength to make the defenders bounce off him. He's very underrated catching the ball even downfield. It was a matter of Duke doing more of it, and then he got it done. And then Chuba Hubbard down here, who weird because a year ago we thought could be in the future could be a second round pick, something like that. So he's kind of fallen down a little bit. Didn't really feel like he was even the best running back on Oklahoma State this year. So that hurt a little bit. Kind of just a one cut runner, just a one lane runner, but pretty explosive. He looks a lot faster on the field than he timed. I think he timed 4.50, which is still flying. People forget. But he looks like 4.40, maybe better sometimes when you watch him. Just the home run ability. Good vision. He's just not going to do anything special. He's going to hit the hole and go, And I like those types of running backs. And there's running backs after this that will rank. We'll have a spreadsheet that I released to everybody closer to draft time with more than 15 rankings. Guys like Javian Hawkins from Louisville. I mean, there's a long list of guys we could talk about. The running backs are great. We stopped off at the six round grade here. So running backs, it's a deep, deep class. There's no flashy speed demon. That's kind of what it's missing, but there's some really good, balanced, do-it-all type of running backs, and I love it. Love me some running backs here. But again, we have all these graphics on one page, even early access for the other position groups. If you sign up for our Patreon, I've been posting those like crazy, so check it out. Any link that you need will be pinned in the comments, and you might be able to find it in the description as well, but the comments got everything for you, so check all that out. Please subscribe to the channel. More content like this. Got a big board after these are all done. Some final mock drafts. Fan voted mock draft. I react to that. Rumors, fact, or smoke videos. I mean, there's a lot to do with only 2 weeks to go. So really excited for all that. Join us. Follow our Twitter. But that's going to do it. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.